Okay, let me show you the easy way to do an S10 G body or anything that has a shock that passes down through the spring. Okay, you remove your shock. You need to hold that focus. You need to hold that top bolt and then loosen those nuts, and it comes right out. On the bottom, you have two nuts. They come out, and then your spring drops right down. Okay. Right down through there, nice and easy. Then you're left with this hole. You might have to make this hole a little bit bigger for this work, but not much bigger. All right. Once that shock's out, and once that hole's the right size, don't worry about the hole being off. You got these little spacer alignment things, and they kind of align that hole good enough. All right. And you can see the hole is covered anyway. So once that's off, you take your little spring compression tool, buy a good one, all right? You know, there's even a good one's only like 20 or 30 bucks, all right? And you just throw it up top here, bring it down here, and there you go. You just turn it until it's snug. I haven't compressed the spring at all. And there you go. And then what that allows you to do is to compress 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coils instead of maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, but I don't doubt it. So compressing those extra coils makes it easier, all right? It just does. And this is safer too, because you're able to compress that spring against the frame. Like if I wanted to change out a spindle, I could compress that spring against the frame, just how I'm doing it here. Take this spindle out, take your cotter pins out, take your bolts out, and then get this under here, and that's actually going to pick the spring up. So I can just lower the A-arm down, swap my spindles out for a lower spindle or anything, and then get this, bring it back up, load everything back up, and then once everything is aligned, you know, make sure your holes are all aligned and everything. You got these two holes, you got to have this coil spring aligned in between them. Loosen tension on this, it's going to bring that coil spring right on down, nice and easy. If you got to have alignment, you can align it as you go, and there you go. Easy. You don't have to be under here compressing a spring tool, all right? And then once it's completely compressed, you take the spring out, and I've seen some dangerous videos on here, I'm sure you guys have too. You take the compressed spring out, you set the compressed spring on the shop floor, who knows how many pounds are on that spring, and you're loosening this thing, trying to hold it, and it's moving around and doing crazy stuff. Yeah, and people have been hurt. This way, people shouldn't get hurt. I mean, short of that bolt breaking, you're compressing against the spring. There's no way for it to do anything crazy. It's isolated. It's not going anywhere, you know. It's just a better way, I feel, of doing it. I feel it's a safer way, and it works on a ton of vehicles, all right? This is a Chevy S10. It works on anything that has a shock that goes down the middle. That's a lot of cars, all right? You just need to make sure that this is beefy enough and you're not going to crush it, all right? And a lot of vehicles, I know GM vehicles, this is plenty beefy enough. Where the shock goes, it's has plenty of meat to be able to compress that spring easy, and you're good. I mean, throw a couple drops of oil down the threads and get to turning. And this is something that you don't have to be under the vehicle. A floor jack's recommended that you know, to try to align things, maybe be a little bit safer. Obviously jack stands. But you wanna, you don't even need a floor jack. Like I could seriously compress this up, swap out this coil, put it back up, and get these in position, and then lower the spring down. I don't even need a floor jack. I just feel it's a better way of doing it. I feel it's safer. Some of the stuff that people do is just crazy, dangerous, and this is one of those things where you can do this safer. It doesn't have to be done some of these crazy ways where you have the coil almost shooting out of the lower control arm because it's being compressed in the wrong way, or they're not compressing it enough and it still has tension on it, or you're wedging this in here trying to get this to compress. All right, you're like just doing some crazy stuff with like ratchet straps or whatever. Doesn't have to be that hard. Do it this way. It's easier, and you can do it from the top. Okay, folks, you can do it from the top, which makes it all around easier. You're not on your back. Anytime I can avoid being on my back under a car, especially if I'm only compressing a couple coils, and I know it's going to be hard with only those coils, forget that. This is the easy way to do it. Easy way to do a coil spring. There you go.